Welcome everyone, I've got a very special guest. This is the awkward part where I try and introduce a guest who you can see anyway, so I don't need to be too fancy about it, although I should be because it's the fashionista, it's NXT UK's Jinny. How are you today, Jinny?
I'm fabulous, how are you?
I'm doing great. So my first question was going to be, what do you think of my shirt? But I see Andy Shepherd didn't get a really good part of that deal when he asked you on Instagram Live a few weeks back. So maybe we'll just skip that part and go down to the important stuff.
Listen, I have to say, one thing is Andy Shepherd's shirt was much better than yours, and I really didn't like it. So I'm absolutely appalled to think that you think that shirt is acceptable to wear whilst you're interviewing the fashionista.
That's why you're the person with cameras on you every week, and I am the person who talks, even though I'm not very good at that either. But we'll see how we get on. We'll try our best and persevere. Now we need to get down to the most important thing. NXT UK is back. It's been a long time coming, although obviously the production team's been churning out some great stuff, some almost fresh content for the past few months. But it's great to actually have wrestling coming back to the UK at least. So it's been a little while since you've been in the ring. Obviously there's a new home, but there's still a little bit of uncertainty there. What was it like just getting to be back in a wrestling environment, and what can we expect from NXT UK going forward?
Oh, it was great being back. Anyone who's a wrestler will say the same thing as me. Being away for a week or 2 weeks if you're on holiday is fine, but being away for that long from your second home, you miss it so much. So just being back at BT Studios, the new home for NXT UK, is just absolutely fantastic. It's taken NXT UK to a whole new level. This is definitely an exciting time, and almost in a way it makes you kind of appreciate the little break that we've had, because the relaunch is going to be absolutely fantastic. But as you said, the production team, they did do such a good job as well. They were producing content with hidden gems, so it was nice to make sure that the audience and the fans, they didn't forget who we were, and we took them on a little bit of a journey. But now that we're back and we're bigger than ever. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and that is one thing. You mentioned it there, the new venue, BT Sports Studios. I managed to catch a couple of matches there back in January for the launch of WWE on BT Sport, and I was just like, man, there should be more wrestling in this venue. Obviously, it's not great the way we've got there, but what do you think of the prospect of wrestling in that wonderful venue, but with no fans? Do you think that's something that we'll see maybe fans gradually seep into that venue, or do you think we'll maybe go elsewhere in the future?
We always have to play it by ear regarding the current circumstances, when fans are going to be allowed to be back in, how long it's going to take. At the moment, it's just fantastic being back. The video that Triple H put out of the studios just doesn't do it any justice. It really, really doesn't. It's just, it's so professional. And that's what I mean by NXT UK being taken to a whole new level. It almost lights a fire under you, because the production is exactly the same now as Raw, SmackDown and NXT. We're not just NXT UK, an additional brand. We're NXT UK, another brand of WWE.
Yeah, definitely. And one of my favourite little things that I seen, I think this came from Alex McCarthy at Talk Sport when he was doing a little wander around the venue, was that he'd mentioned that Shawn Michaels' voice booms across to help, give a little bit of the production aspect to guide things along. What's that like, getting to just hear Shawn Michaels' voice come across? And is that just the most surreal thing ever?
For the first day, it was a bit like, okay, I forget that you're actually able to watch us, almost like on CCTV. So it was absolutely insane hearing Shawn Michaels and Triple H's voice. It was just great. You get used to it, obviously, as time goes on, but just the fact that we're able to be within BT Studios and having them still watch and having them put in as much effort as they are, it's like that they are actually here with us. So it's definitely something godlike, but at the same time, it's work, and they have as much passion for NXT UK as every single performer on the brand.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's got to be surreal actually getting to talk to, them as part of your
Yeah.
job. But the fact that they might be always watching and just boom the voice down instantly just sounds incredible. So
Yes.
that's one thing that, we'll mention a little bit more about lockdown later, but that kind of has to come into it where, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, all these incredible people that you guys work with as part of NXT UK. I think we're 2 years into you signing with WWE, but I think 3 years after you debuted, roughly. In that time, what is the most surreal thing that's happened to you?
So I debuted for WWE back in 2017. I signed with them in May of 2018.
Yeah.
Gosh, it was just so surreal. I remember being there at WrestleMania Access, and it was myself versus Tony Storm, and it was just absolutely incredible. The most surreal thing that's happened to me during that time is working with Triple H. It is working with Shawn Michaels. It is being part of the brand, the company, working for the company that I grew up watching, and that made me fall in love with wrestling. So every single day, it's surreal. It's my dream turned into reality. I really can't put it into words.
Yeah, and we're gonna go into more about Jinny in a little second, but we'll just double back to the last question about lockdown before we can bring it all back up. So, as far as I'm aware, you guys were still working as much as wrestlers can work during lockdown. There was skull sessions, and I think acting seminars were a thing as well. Is that something that you took the kind of opportunity to do anything with, or were you just like trying to get in physical shape? How were you working during lockdown?
I was doing both. I'm very lucky to have actually a gym in my garage. So having that there was definitely a game changer. Even though I have a gym in the garage, I like to go to the gym because you get a different energy and a different vibe when you're there. So it sort of pushes you to work out. So that it was great to have that there. Also the skull sessions and the acting sessions as well. You want to be a well-rounded performer. You want to stick out. You want to make a statement. So any sort of training, any sort of help that you can get, you always have to jump at it. And it was really nice to have those in place as well, because it was a new normality for us. So having some sort of routine in place was great. Keeps you focused.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something you mentioned, that the new normality. We did say, lack of crowd and stuff like that. All the videos that I've seen from NXT UK at BT Sports Studios, the press stuff, everyone's wearing masks, they're all distanced. Did you guys have to have any kind of special measures in place before returning or while taping or anything like that while you were there?
We have to follow government guidelines. I think WWE have done a fantastic job in the US and also here as well to make sure everyone is safeguarded, make sure everyone's healthy and looked after. It's definitely a new normal. It's something that everybody in the world has to get used to. But being able to be protected and also do something that you love, it was great. It really was. And they made sure that everyone was all okay.
Yeah, and before we get into the last couple of questions about Jinny, I'm going to take it away from Jinny for a little second. It's a clean slate now, many might say, because, there's been so long without content. Maybe it's a fresh start for a lot of people. Who, apart from Jinny, is the one NXT UK superstar people should be paying attention to and should be keeping a close eye on when it returns?
Ooh, obviously me, as you said that. There are, I'm going to say there's quite a few. I'd say Ilya Dragunov, Nina Samuels, Walter, also Isla Dawn as well.
I will obviously take that as a fellow Scottish person.
Yeah, but as I said, the main person to focus on is the fashionista.
100%. And I believe it's only 1 week until we see a women's championship match between Kaylee Ray and Piper Niven. Obviously, there's a lot of women. You mentioned there Isla Dawn. There's also Nina Samuels, who you mentioned. You've got kind of newer people like Dani Luna and Valkyrie as well. Where does Jinny fit in to the women's division? What do you see your place as the women's division, in the women's division in NXT UK right now?
At the top of the mountain. I'm the queen of NXT UK. but I'm also the uncrowned champion as well. Kaylee Ray has something that belongs to me. So regardless of the fact that she's wearing my championship around the waist, I'm still the queen of NXT UK, and I am still above everybody else.
Most definitely. Yeah, definitely. And I've got one last question. I think you kind of answered it there, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What can we expect from Jinny going forward in NXT UK?
More fabulous outfits as always. I'm most certainly the best dressed person within NXT UK. Also a more ruthless side to me as well. Being away from the ring, especially for so long, as I said, it does light a fire under you. I have something that belongs to me that somebody else currently has, and I want it. So a more fabulous, ruthless, determined Jinny is someone that women don't want to mess with.
And definitely, if someone promises to be at the top of such a stacked women's division, that is enough reason for everyone to watch. Thank you so much, Jinny. It's been an absolute pleasure. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.